Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Shaman's Horde on Nyxus Gaming. We are here in Fallout New Vegas, the Lonesome Road, for what I believe to be the final guide that I want to do in this game. Of course, if you guys are open to suggest stuff in the comments, I am open to do more guides, but this is the last planned one. Today, we're going to go after the Ulysses logs that he's left behind throughout the divide for us to listen to. The first one is going to be here in Hopeville in the loading station down here. Now, I think the actual first spot you open up into in Hopeville is like right over there, so you'll just follow this road down. There's an easy locked gate right about here. You'll walk in. Anywhere you see this symbol is somewhere Ulysses has been. So you might want to just look around those locations. I'm not saying there's a holotape at all of them, but there's a chance that you might find some good stuff there. For this one, you're going to want to look in the toolbox here and go ahead and grab Y1715. That is one of 6. Now, I'm going to wait till the end to play all of these. That way we get the full connected story, but let's head on to the next one. This next one is going to be here at the Marked Men Supply Outpost at a location we actually visited last time on the Horde, but I'm going to show you a little bit more this time. Before you go there, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to want to grab the key from this stash box right here, metal box. Last time, I believe I just forced the lock open. But if you don't have the lock picking or the luck to do that, then you do want to just head right over there. You might have to blow up a warhead to get it, but the key's right there. The actual gate in question is right here. You can see the Ralphie poster, which is why we came in here last time. But if you turn around on this shelf, you get Y1721. This one, I feel, is the most obvious one. As you're walking along the high road, you're gonna see this big pass right here, along with a warhead right here. First impulse, you're probably gonna want to blow it up, but it actually reveals, there's the symbol again, it reveals this path all the way up to the top. You get some nice arrows on the side pointing you along the way. And once you get over, you'll discover this location, the Crow's Nest. And if you look around, you should be able to find another log somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where this... Oh, it's right here. Y1716. There we go. I knew it was there the whole time. Careful not to fall off too far, at least. For this one, it's sort of hard to explain. We're here in the high road. This is about where the highway ends, and you can turn right and go down to the Junction 7 rest stop down there. There's the Smitty sign. You're going to see this metal box here, which is sort of a good marker, and you're just going to follow these rocks up here. It's kind of tucked away in the back, right back here against the rock here. Y1722. We're at the second half of the divide here, right at the Sunstone Tower roof. You're going to find this one as you're descending downwards. You're going to walk down these little scaffolding bits here. Instead of taking the stairs, you're going to want to turn this way, walk across more scaffold, past the blue sign of Ulysses there, and oh, you'll find yourself a nice wall safe here. I guess the log 1723 is useful too. For the last one, you're going to want to get up to this point here just before going into the Cave of the Abaddon. This one confused me a little bit because I thought it was talking about this building here, but it's actually this building here on its side. You're going to want to go up to what would be, I guess, the top floor of this building. It's on its side. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's right here under the mattress. Y1717. And with that, you should have all 6 of Ulysses's holotapes. So let's go ahead and give them a read. So we're going to do these in order. I'm pretty sure it's the order of the lowest number. So starting with 15 here.
Back again. Left that crater behind. Got a few holotapes left. One's from the medical center. The woman, she fixed the recorder. Said it wouldn't last. Repayment for me fixing her. Same madness. She answered me on their philosophy, their way of seeing, the roads they walk. Dead ends. Empty. As if technology can solve anything. Big Empty's proof where that road leads. Just like the Divide, and all the roads that lead to it. Big Empty. There's something hidden there. A crater. Past wind and sand. So deep in the desert, there's no turning back. Finding the crater was an accident. Was following the weather patterns. The Divide sky torn like that. Man's violence, not nature's. That violence in the sky had a source. Tracked it, like following a river current. Left the colors to mark my way, like always. Case someone finds them, learns the pattern. The courier might. But I thought sand and wind would never end. Came to the crater. And there was an old world facility. A weather station at the edge. Still raking the sky with electricity and generators. And beyond it, saw the rest of the old world hell there. All carved up like garden plots. Had to see what was there. Couldn't leave it be. Things asleep in the Big Empty. The Brotherhood woke them up. Can't move quiet any more than the two-headed bear can. And when they woke up, it was like all of history waking up at once. Almost didn't make it out. Almost. Left with answers I never intended. Have you ever wanted to speak to history? Just to know the why of it? I don't. Not any longer. There's old stories about gods and men, past history into myth. Where the gods, they're like children, petulant, cruel. Those were the voices of the Big Empty. The past. Couldn't leave well enough alone. Had to ask the why of it. Their answers were madness, and power stronger than me. Would take 100 Elijahs. Someone tougher than him or I, to best of them in their dome. They didn't know why they were there, what had led to that point. Their names, like serpents devouring themselves, cannibalizing their own thoughts. When all seemed lost, thought it was the end. My anger gave me strength to ask them my last question. Who are you that do not know your history? And they awoke, for a short time. The flag you wear, they said, we remember. America. It wasn't just a flag to them. It was a place, an idea they had cared for. Once, they told me what it was like to grow in that world. All they had done to lift it up, protect it. They didn't know it was gone. That, yet, they had cared once, before forgetting their history. As they were talking, kept seeing the courier's shadow behind them, giving each their words weight. History cast aside, a home left behind. I listened. I asked, was there anything left? Anything that still carries America's voice? And they told me I had already been there. I and one other, walking right out of history deeper than we knew. They told me what lies in the heart of the Divide, what can be found there, and the words to awaken it, and the one to speak them. Emptiness here, like the sands of the great salt lake, echoed, the beating in the Divide sky, like storm drums of the White Legs, ran with them on the salt beds at Caesar's command. Cut the throats of the two-headed bear, cut all communities off. Use storm, sky, disease, fire, starvation, and the violence of the ignorant to ruin all who could. Might stand against him. But the Whitelegs, they couldn't live on their own like most scavengers, so gave them purpose, turned their hunger into a weapon. The wall of New Canaan, too high for Caesar, too proud maybe, or maybe something there from his past that needed killing. Memory of Graham. Helped them dig out Canaan's supply caches and other secrets the sands hid. Bunkers filled with powered weapons even the Brotherhood might desire. They call these new weapons storm drums in the firing of shells. Taught them the power in the casings to channel the spirits in their guns. Me, they called me the flag bearer. Glory in my hand, in my staff that still bore the weight of the old world, just as the symbol on my back did. I learned their weapons as a means of respect, and when it came their turn to pay respect to me, history came rushing back. Can't escape what's been done. History's there, no matter how far you walk. I walked the Great Salt Lake as Kaiser's eye, then his hand. Mongrels there, 2 legs and 4. Saw walls of New Canaan the scavengers circled, had the strength or fire to take. Too high, too strong. Whitelegs, they were born for war. They run to it, hungry for battle. Yet their hunger is to be a part of history, something larger. Like the Legion, as always, brought them a message from Caesar. If New Canaan burns, Caesar might see them. Might. Even the chance was a lie. To honor Caesar, destroy the history of New Canaan and the way they carry it in their generations and family. Caesar respects such strength, I told them. That was truth, even if strength wasn't the word. Obedience. You must be willing to kill anyone. Children, mothers, the weak, elders. If these new Canaanites value the generations, that is what you must kill. It was like Wolpus was speaking through me. Use the night, silence, and fire to change their words to please, to screams. No need for bombs when hate will do. I asked the Whitelegs to destroy a people with ancestry going back thousands of years. Another death of history, lost to time. The new Canaanites. They supplied medicine, food traded with others, civilization, a hand from the past, not history, but maybe a past deeper, farther than that to a place where this God really exists. If so, his handiwork and people belong elsewhere, not in this place. Another symbol like bear and bull with no meaning in the present. The Whitelegs meant to show respect, bribe me for Kaiser's favor, echoing mannerisms and words, showed them tech caches, taught them the workings of chamber and powder, spoke of Kaiser's pride in those that used such things. Lies. And then they tried to honor me, not the Legion. They brought me before the campfire one night, showed me how they changed themselves, how they wore their hair now. It was like my entire dead tribe in the firelight, teeth grinning red in the dark, eager corpses, blood-covered ghosts. They had taken my braids, the way of the twisted hairs. as if it showed they were like me, of me, while every knot in their braids spoke of raping, violence, and ignorance of what the knots meant. They thought to show respect, defiled it, lost myself in trying to read the braids they wove, when I remembered they had put no meaning in it. They had no history of what it meant. They didn't even know the insult in the twists, knots. And the dry wells came rushing back, the white legs circled like that. It was like looking at the dead of my tribe, reborn as ghosts, hateful, hungry, bowing to Caesar. Another history, gone, carried by me alone.
And with that, we have listened to all 6 of his logs with a minor crash there at the end. I don't know how I'm going to edit that through, but yeah, that is the story of Ulysses there. We hear 3 holotapes about his time in the Big Empty, how he met with the think tank and asked them many questions, how they told him of the old America, of the flag that he bears, his time with Elijah and Christine, how Christine, he helped her, so she helped him get a hold of these audio logs that he could record stuff on. And then it goes further and talks about his time at New Canaan, in a place close. It's not the exact same place, but it's close to the Honest Hearts DLC that we play through, Zion Canyon. How apparently he was the one, when he worked under Caesar, he was the one that gathered the White Legs to attack New Canaan, and the main reason why they're so war hungry in the DLC that we play through. He's a very complex character, and I think he was originally planned as a companion that you could get through the game, but there's a lot of cut stuff in this game, and unfortunately he was one of them. Still, a very cool story to him, and nice to learn about, and I'm glad he came back as the main antagonist in this final DLC for the final encounter in many people's games. But that's gonna just about cover what I wanted to do guide-wise in today's episode. Stay tuned because there is a little bit more that I want to do for this episode, and it's coming up next. But thank you all for watching. This is probably going to be the last New Vegas guide that I do. We're going to pop by and do one more in Tai 2 next, and then I think we're going to start doing guides in another game. So thank you, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye, except not really, because there's another thing coming. Alright, so this is more or less just a fun little thing that I wanted to tack onto this video. When I finished all the guides I did in the first Ty the Tasmanian Tiger game, I did a tier list at the end for all the boomerangs, and I thought it would be fun to keep that going, and we're going to do a tier list today for all the Fallout New Vegas companions. You see I have them all down on the bottom here, even Ulysses, even though he was cut out. Even Joshua Graham, even though he's not a super involved companion. Even Roxy is here, who you can't even take out of the place that you get her at. But we're going to go through and we're going to rank all of these guys, and you're going to get my real thoughts on them as I go through, starting here with Arcade Gannon. Now, Arcade Gannon, honestly, I have 4 companions that I really like to use that have great stories to them, and he is one of them. His companion perk, all it does is lets you get healed more whenever you use healing items, and that's really good. It helps you survive. Energy weapons, I'm not big on those, but I'm not using them. He is. And he seems really dry at first, but then you learn about his backstory, how his father was in the Enclave, and overall, I just really enjoy him, and you start to get used to his little dry remarks here and there, and his sarcasm. And I think, honestly, while he's not S tier, he's a strong A tier, so we're going to put him there. Next up, we got Boone. Now, everyone's complaint about Boone is how depressing he is, and I gotta agree. He has a very big, drawn-out backstory, which I love, but it is super depressing, and goes into his character and his dialogue. Pretty much everything he says is super depressing. Despite that, though, I gotta give him A tier, as he is one of my favorite companions, even more than Arcade. His perk goes really well if you're a sniper character. Whenever you aim down sights, he will highlight any enemies that are hostile to you. That way you can aim at him better. And also, he's just sort of a beast watching your back. Whenever I have him as a companion, enemies almost never sneak up on me, so I love the guy. Moving on to Cass, Rose of Sharon Cassidy. Gonna be honest, not a huge fan. She does have a relation to one of the Fallout 2 companions, who I can't remember the name of. I think his name was just Cassidy as well. But honestly, her companion perk, oh no, you can't get drunk off of alcohol. Oh no. I don't use those items, so meh. Other than that, the only thing she really has going for her is her relation to the Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs and her whole companion quest, which isn't amazing, if you ask me. Not great. I think she's a pretty mid-tier companion, so we're gonna put her there. We're gonna skip over these three and get through the vanilla companions first, and we're gonna do Eddie. I'm gonna be honest, straight S tier. I love this robot. You can talk about his companion perks and all the other companion perks. He can literally do what Veronica does for you, and way more than that. His main companion perk basically makes it to where you have 10 perception, so he's a really great combo with Boone here. So you have great perception, you can detect all the enemies, and you aim down sights, and Boone just highlights them for you. Really great combo. But what's great about Eddie is he's the companion that just keeps giving. You can upgrade him to where he has more attack power or defense. And then when you go through the Lonesome Road, you get even more upgrades for him to where he becomes a portable workbench. He can craft all this stuff for you. He's just all around the most amazing companion I can ask for. And that's not just me being a robot simp because I love my robots. He is just amazing. And if I had him on the tier list again, because honestly, Lonesome Road Eddie is a separate robot than this Eddie, I would put them both on S tier, but I thought that was a little unfair. Alright, moving through, we got Lily here, Lily Bowen. Lily Bowen. If you're playing a sneak character, she's alright. She doubles the effect timing of Stealth Boys. I can't think of the word there. She doubles the timing of Stealth Boys to where you can sneak around longer, and I think when you're using critical attacks, or sneak attacks, you do more damage when you have her as a companion. That being said, I'm not a big stealth person in this game, and she has little to no backstory. Honestly, she was a Nightkin for the Master's Army, that's cool, but then you just hear about her grandchildren a lot and the medication she takes, and oh boy, that's so exciting. C tier, easy. And then we got Raoul, probably the second least exciting companion in the vanilla game. Raoul gets about as much love in this game as Lily does, but he does have more of a backstory. Now the problem here, his companion quest is literally you just listening to his entire backstory. It is an interesting one, and he's sort of with Veronica on this, that he can repair stuff for you on the fly, which again Eddie can just do. We're gonna stop talking about Eddie because I love him, but I'm gonna bump him probably to B tier just because he has a better backstory than Lily, and it's a lot more drawn out. Also, if you're big into gunplay, one of his perks that he gets from his quest does speed up your gunfire for pistols, I believe. Moving on, we got Rex. Rex, he's a good boy, don't get me wrong. He's a cyber dog. You get him from my favorite faction in the game, the Kings. And he does have a decent backstory and a lot of versatility in what you can do in his companion quest. You can make him a legion dog, you can make him a fiend dog, or you can make him just a good old hound dog, junkyard dog. That being said, I don't find myself using him too often. One, because he takes up the slot of another companion up here. But two, I'm just not really too big into the melee companions. I like a good ranged companion that can really watch my back before the enemy gets close to me. But I can't be too hard on him. He's a pretty good boy, so let's put him in B. Next up, we got Veronica. Good old Veronica, the Brotherhood of Steel sarcastic girl. Everyone loves Veronica to a degree. Now, she does fall short because she's a melee companion, which, again, not a huge fan of. But I think her backstory and her perkiness and her all-around just really good character makes up for that. And for that, I usually put her with these two up here, with Arcade and Boone, as one of the better companions of the game. She is the melee character that I actually don't mind having with me. So there she is up there. That is all the vanilla companions that you can get in the game. So let's move to the Honest Hearts ones. We got Follows Chalk here. And he's interesting, I guess. Sort of a young tribal that wants to make his way in the world. He wants to leave the Zion Canyon and go explore, and you get a hand in that as you go. Overall, he's not a bad companion, but I feel like most of the DLC companions, they do just fall a little short. They don't have that love put into them that all these other ones do. So I think for that, we're going to put him at C there. Waking Cloud, kind of the same issue, just not a lot of love to her, and honestly, she gets even less love than Follows Chalk, I believe. Or I feel that way, at least. She is a melee character also, so I think that bumps her down. She's not an F tier, but she's definitely a C tier. And then you got Joshua Graham, who honestly just a badass. He has the most love to him out of all of the companions in Honest Hearts. The thing that sucks about him is he is temporary, as with the other ones are, but he also doesn't work as a normal companion. You can't access his inventory or tell him to stay close or go far, be hostile, all of that stuff. He just kind of accompanies you and does his own thing, which I wouldn't expect anything less from his man. I'm accompanying him at this point. He's the badass here. But he does fall a little short with that. His backstory, though, everything with Caesar's Legion and how he's repenting his lifestyle, he's the burn man, I feel like that makes up for it. I'm going to put him at a solid B tier. I would have this man with me any day if I could. Moving on, we're going to skip Dead Money and we're going to do Roxy. Roxy, I'm sorry. While Rex is a good boy, you don't really have anything going for you, if I'm being real. You do have the ending to where you go back to the Mojave and have puppies with Rex. That's really cool. But other than that, you literally can't even take Roxy out of the splicing facility that you make her in. She is literally just a companion in that one location, in that entire DLC, in the entire game. Can't take her anywhere. And I think for that, she's gotta be an F tier. Moving on to Dead Money, let's start with Dean Domino. Now, you guys know, watching my videos, I'm not a fan of how this guy acts. He is an asshole. Grade A asshole. Nobody likes Dean. That being said, I feel like that's an integral part of his character, and going back, he has all the snarky attitude that I love from Veronica and Arcade. And he's probably honestly the most important companion in all of Dead Money that you get to know. So I feel like he should be a solid B tier out of those. I hate him, but you gotta love him, you know? Let's do Christine. Christine, I feel like, could have been a way better character and a way better companion, but she falls short because she can't talk for most of the DLC. You don't hear her voice until the very end, And up until then, you're just kind of reading hand gestures and facial expressions and kind of figuring her out from there. And I feel like that's where she falls flat. If it wasn't for that, she would be up here with B with Dean Domino, but because of that, I'm going to have to put her at C. Now, Dog and God here, really interesting. Another Nightkin like Lily, but with a more interesting problem. He's not just some old grandfather that wants to take his medication and talk about his grandchildren. No, he has actual mental issues that makes him have two personalities. Schizophrenia, that's what I want to say. So you have Dog, the ravenous, hungry, murderous Nightkin, and then you have God, the peaceful, conscious inside that just wants to not fight and take care of Dog. And there's this really interesting conflict between them through the whole thing. And at the end, you get to choose, do you want to keep Dog around? Do you want to keep God around? Or you can merge the two. And just overall, I feel like he's probably the best done Nightkin character. Not just companion, character in the entire franchise. So with that, I gotta put him at a B tier. None of these DLC companions are gonna be A tier or higher, if I'm being honest. You already see that, there's only one left, but they just don't have the same amount of love, like I said. And with that, we get to Ulysses, who probably shouldn't be on this list, but I had to tie him into this video where I wanted to do the tier list anyway. He is a cut companion, didn't make it as a companion, but he returns as the antagonist of the Lonesome Road DLC, and we learned his story a little bit earlier in the video. He used to be a member of Caesar's Legion. He would go around for Caesar. He is responsible for going to New Canaan and gathering the White Legs to attack it and turning them into just a war-hungry tribe of murderers. And it seems he has regret for that. He's gone through all these different places, walked the roads, went to the Big Empty to try and find answers, and learned about Courier 6. He was actually, if you didn't know, he was the one that was originally supposed to deliver the Platinum Chip to Mr. House, but he sees your name on the list as the next courier, and he declines it. He makes you carry it. And overall, like, I think he has an amazing backstory to him. But the fact that he's not an actual companion in the game, I feel like it would be unfair to put him anywhere above C. If he was a companion, I feel like he would be an easy A tier, maybe even an S tier, but he's not, so that's where he lands there. So yeah, that's my thoughts of all the companions on Fallout New Vegas. Like I said, I thought it would be a fun way to end off this series of guides. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you disagree with any of my opinions, or you think someone should be higher or lower, or if there's a companion that I somehow missed that I should put on here. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. We're actually ending the video this time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.